And we are back. Late June, early July. Nonsense, ain't it? I know. But hey, man, we're gonna find a way to make it work. So, we have a series of film coming out. I never really stopped dropping film, so we got even more film coming out. We got some other things in the works I want y'all to be patient for. I don't even want y'all to be real patient due to the fact that it's right around the corner. And when I say right around the corner, I mean like it's peaking around the corner. It'll be here any minute now. Y'all just hang tight. But until then, I'll be dropping film and I'll be doing some Q&A stuff. Okay, some fun Q&A stuff. Also, too, I want to get back to the patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. I think I want to do like a long watch of Brock Hoffman. And I may do that publicly. I don't know. I may do that on the big platform. I don't know. I may just do it one long film session for everybody to see. I haven't decided yet. But today we're going to kick off our Q&A stuff, question and answer stuff. And hey, if y'all have any additional questions, go to the community tab on the page and y'all will just see it up there next to some other non-football content. It'll just be like, hey, we're doing Q&A. Y'all got questions? And y'all can just run to that and ask your question. And we'll just cover all this stuff. But I got one here from Austin Cowsert 327. He says, not a question, but Jake Ferguson will emerge as a top tight end in the league this season. The chemistry will be there. The chemistry was there. I can't read today. The chemistry was there last season. So with more plays designed specifically for him to get in space and work, I believe he goes 1,200 yards, 8 to 10 touchdowns this season. Fantastic response by you, sir. Fantastic. Declarative sentence or whatever, because it wasn't a question, you know what I'm saying? But I do feel you. I do agree that Jake Ferguson is on his way to a very emergent type year, doubling down on what he did last year at least. Let me just figure something out real fast. Jake Ferguson. The game log tell it all. All right, so Jake Ferguson last year, he had 102 targets, 71 catches, 761 yards. So that's about 10.7 yards per catch. And he ended with 5 touchdowns. Okay, he got 3 touchdowns versus Green Bay, but that don't count. Dak threw the ball 60 times because it was a damn emergency. It was terror threat level orange in that mug. So them 3 touchdowns versus Green Bay, in my personal opinion, I won't even count them. So just in the regular season context, Jake Ferguson 71 for 761, 5 touchdowns. I just want to do another quick exercise, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't got to go nowhere. Don't move. Let me open up a new tab so I don't lose y'all. Okay. This all gonna make sense. Brandon Cooks game log. Let's just compare what Brandon Cooks did with Jake Ferguson. Did two verses. Brandon Cooks did versus Jake Ferguson last year. Matter of fact, can I give y'all this? Can I? Hell yeah. All right, cool. We can kind of do this a little. It's gonna be All right, so let's do this. Let's close the advertisements and let's just kind of hit y'all with this right there. Bam. All right. For the OGs in the back with the bad eyes, all right? So let me bring this thing back down because I do have a quick point before we get into this. I think what's going to be so important in terms of like how we're going to measure this offense in 2024 versus 2023 is we have to give grace and understanding of how trash Mike McCarthy was the first 6 weeks. Got to understand. Prescott game law. We got to understand Mike McCarthy for the first couple of weeks was high garbage. Let's go take a look at Dak Prescott's numbers. 140 yards versus the Giants is really all he needed. 255 yards versus the Jets. 249 yards versus the Cardinals. 261 yards versus the Patriots and 153 yards versus the San Francisco 49ers. Look, man, Mike McCarthy had me in shambles out here, dog. Mike McCarthy had me in shambles out here, bro. It's like we just couldn't figure out that thing we was trying to do. We just couldn't figure out what we were doing offensively. We didn't have an identity. We didn't know what we wanted to do. We were trying to run the football, and we were just trying to trial and error the whole way. But we couldn't, really get a good hold of it. It was here versus the Chargers, 272 yards. 272 yards. Okay, cool. 272 yards, touchdown, 7 carries, 40 yards, and another touchdown, right? This is also when Dak started running around a little bit. So the offense unlocked after the bye week. Just my own personal opinion. Y'all ain't got to listen to what the hell I say. I'm just a dude with a microphone and camera. It's a nice microphone and a nice camera, but that's just me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm willing to say, just jump off the ledge and say the first 5 weeks were nonsense. That Chargers game was the acclimation period. I ain't making nothing up. I know there's a lot of people finna call me a Cowboy Dak homer, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm poo-pooing on Mike McCarthy right now. I think the Rams game is when it all opened up. Because from there, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, a little bit of rushing. 374 yards versus the Eagles, 3 touchdowns, a little bit of rushing. 404 yards versus the Giants. We ain't really need them versus the Carolina Panthers. They kind of just, rolled over, whatever. 331 and 4. 299 and 3. It felt like Dak Prescott threw 500 yards versus the Seahawks here. But it seems like since that Rams game is when the Cowboys' offense really started to take off, really started to blow up. Now let's contrast that. We just doing the exercise, y'all. We just doing the exercise. Let's contrast that with what we were seeing from Brandon Cooks here. Because, look, if I could just keep it a buck here, Brandon Cooks was just trash all year.
It's fact.
Not trash, but he wasn't used properly all year. There we go. So that first thing I said was...
It's false.
But if I could follow up and say then it was...
It's fact. Yes. Yes. A similar event did take place. You're right. You were right.
I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying, So if we look at everybody and kind of what they did since that Rams game, you starting to see the offense really take shape into what it is. Even Brandon Cooks, right, with his 657 yards, which ain't great, he ended with 8 touchdowns. That's massive. That's fantastic. That's a pretty good touchdown year for Brandon Cooks. But he didn't score in any of these first few games. He got 1 versus Chargers, and then it's like, hey man, we can damn near bank on Brandon Cooks being a guy that's gonna catch a pass in the back right end zone. Like that was a part of our thing. Like we'll feed CeeDee Lamb. Brandon Cooks would be your back corner of the end zone guy. But then Jake Ferguson started getting a little busy, right? And mind you, these games was cool, right? 4 targets versus the Rams, acclamation. 10 targets, 7 targets, 5, 3, 8, 8, 8, 8, 6, 6. Jake Ferguson was on his way to tearing some shit up regardless. And then we get this last game where you get 12 targets and 3 touchdowns. Now that don't count. It don't count. Why it don't count? Because Cowboys getting smoked. Dak Prescott threw the ball 60 times. I can't count that, right? We can't even count that. But now we know what the identity is. I talk to Brian Bross about this all the time. He'll go to different platforms and he'll just totally forget that we had this conversation. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I love Brian the P. That's my guy. Hey man, Jake Ferguson is your wide receiver too. I know we're gonna talk a lot about this whole Brandon Cooks, what the boy name? Jalen Brooks versus Jalen Tolbert. All these names too damn similar. Every damn body. Tolbert, Turpin, Tyler, Smith, Terrence Tommy is too much going on. Ain't nobody named Tommy. Jake Ferguson is your wide receiver too, right? And it took the back end of the season for the Cowboys to find its identity. CeeDee Lamb gets all the opportunities. He gonna get all of them. Jake Ferguson's gonna be your second guy. Cooks is gonna be your third guy. And it's the fun thing about Jake Ferguson being your second guy is that Jake Ferguson, and like Austin Cowsert says, he says maybe there can be some more plays that are designed specifically to get Jake Ferguson the ball in space and letting him work. I do agree. Jake's going to get those opportunities. He's going to get even more of those opportunities, right? But what makes Jake Ferguson, what make those numbers inflate or what's going to make those numbers inflate. I think we're going to design stuff to Jake Ferguson, but then Jake is going to do the tight end stuff, the get open stuff, the mismatch stuff, the check down stuff. Jake is going to get his fair share of targets as I'm open, throw the ball to me guy. But then Jake is going to get his targets as, all right, my first 2 reads are gone. Let me dump this down to Jake and let him be yak guy. That's what's going to happen here. Also, in the middle of the season, the Cowboys found something special. Cowboys found something that was undefeatable, un-F-wittable. And that's Dak Prescott throwing to Jake Ferguson down the seam.
It's fact. Yes. Yes. A similar event did take place.
Man, it'll probably be a down under route. Reading this linebacker safety type character, whoever you want to call him. Jake Ferguson run that damn seam. If that linebacker safety dude backs up too damn much, we'll hit the down under guy. But they never do that. They always take the cheese. They always take the slant guy. They take the drag guy. They take the crossing route guy. I can't show the film here because the NFL Illuminati gonna damn sure give me, and I can't find the film, the all 22 film. This is kind of impromptu. But the seam ball was perfect, and it might be Dak Prescott's best throw. It's perfect and it's unbeatable. I'm positive you can go to YouTube right now and type in Dak Prescott seam, and you'll just see a highlight. Let me just make this for the next time. You could just type in Dak Prescott and seam, and I'm positive you're gonna find a highlight tape of Dak Prescott throwing the ball down the seam to one of his tight ends, and they may or may not catch it, but it always hit him in the hands every single time. Did you hear what I said? It's inevitable. That was Dak Prescott's best throw. You know who got a real good feel for that? It's Jake Ferguson. You know who got a bad feel for that? Luke Schoonmaker. Did you hear what I said? Or Schoon and Peyton Hendershot got a terrible feel about that seam ball because they get to hearing footsteps and shit, and they just drop it, right? But Jake Ferguson seems to be the most successful. Let me just see what Dak Prescott seam. Okay, I lied. You just cannot find a highlight tape of Dak throwing passes up the seam. You can't find it. I'm sorry. I thought it'll be there by now. Yo, in my mind, I thought that should be there by now. My fault. However, this offense was nonsense for 5 to 6 weeks, so I can only imagine that everything that we did offensively the entire year last year would be 5 games better. If this thought process is trash, you let me know. But you have an off season installing, not refining your offense, but you're installing. Then you go out, 5 weeks is trash, and then you say, Dak, save me at the end of this thing, and he does. Now you get to take that mindset, you keep what's successful, and you erase all the nonsense of the offense, like, the run scheme, which was trash, or not getting Cooks involved, or not getting CD involved, or maybe spamming the ball to Michael Gallup versus one of these teams that we did it against. I forgot who it was. You know what I'm saying? Gallup's gone, but y'all see my point. You cut the fat in that offensive process or whatever, and then you just keep all the good stuff. And now, week 1 versus the Browns, a playoff team with a fantastic defense, I think was first last year. You go against the Browns, you have your full arsenal of feeding CD, feeding Ferguson, feeding Cooks, and whoever else just get in where they fit in. That's how I think life goes. So yes, to your point, I do think Jake Ferguson is primed for a fantastic goal this year. All right, appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hold it down till next time. Salute.